What's up, guys? This is my reaction to the first round of the 2020 NFL Draft. I hope you enjoy. Comment down below and like and sub, please. So, here you go. So, first pick, Joe Burrow to the Bengals, as expected. Not much to say here. Grade A. Has all the tools, to be a great NFL quarterback. Saw it coming. Second pick, Redskins picking up Chase Young. Another easy pick. Amazing player. Probably better coming out of the college than the Bosa. Was the best player in the class, but getting him at number 2 is awesome. 3, the Lions get Jeff Okudah, who is kind of their Darius Slay replacement. And I like the pick. He's going to be a stud. Between him, Derek Brown, and Isaiah Simmons, it's hard to pick a cornerback at 3. But I think if there is a cornerback you're going to pick at 3, Jeff Okudah checks all the boxes. 4, Giants picking Andrew Thomas is another interesting pick. Had their pick of the litter from all the offensive tackles. Little surprised they didn't go Jedrick Wills, but he actually fell, so we'll get to that later as well. But they get the left tackle. Left tackle protect Danny Dimes, so it just kind of makes sense. Give that grade another probably B+, A-. Dolphins at 5 picking Tua. I saw it coming the entire time. Maybe not in my mock draft. I think I might have fallen under the spell that the Dolphins were, or the smoke that they were throwing out, saying that they weren't sure about Tua, but I thought it was a lock. You can have him sit under Fitzpatrick for a couple games, maybe the whole year. Hopefully not the whole year. I'd give it an A-, solid A-, just because his injuries are a concern, but he's an absolute stud. There's at 6 going Justin Herbert. Unpolished quarterback, but he is big, he can move, and he has a really strong arm, so if you can work on that, he can definitely sit under Tyrod Taylor and see how the team looks. I know they have a lot of free agents after this upcoming year, so maybe in a rebuilt team in a 2021 season, he can be the leader. I give that a grade of probably a B-, maybe a B, just because of how unpolished he is. I thought there was a chance they went defense, maybe Isaiah Simmons, because he'd be another Derwin James, so having 2 of those guys on the same team would be incredible, but they just went Herbert, trying to get their quarterback for the future, so you got to respect that. At 7, the Panthers going Derek Brown out of Auburn. Absolute stud in the inside. Big guy. He plays with so much power. But can also have a little bit of finesse. I saw it in some of his highlights. He plays on the outside. That I had only seen a couple times, but I saw it a couple more times, and it's really impressive for how well he moves for his size. A little confused that they didn't go with Isaiah Simmons to play linebacker. They must have not seen him as a linebacker with the Luke Kuechly retirement. They must have seen him more as a safety, and they thought it wasn't worth it, just getting the game wrecker on the inside. Number 8, NFC West Division, Cardinals, like Isaiah Simmons out of Clemson. I give this pick an A, guaranteed. I'm surprised they didn't go to the Panthers, and I was really disappointed we didn't go to the Panthers, because then once I realized that the Cardinals had a chance to get him, it'd be bad for the Niners. He can shut down the run. He will probably line up over George Kittle a lot. I'm just excited I get to watch him play against the Niners 2 times a year. That team looks really good, so I'm really excited to play them as a Niners fan. I think it'll be great games next year. Jaguars at 9 pick C.J. Henderson, cornerback out of Florida. Man corner, can lock up. Jalen Ramsey replacement. I really do like C.J. Henderson. I don't think he's as good as Jeff Okudah, but I do think he's one of the only guys close. At pick 10, the Cleveland Browns select tackle from Alabama, Jedrick Wills. This kind of ends the Jedrick Wills slide that most expected him to go number 4 to the Giants. But watching him go here is really no surprise. Expected the Browns to take a tackle. Jedrick Wills was there. Great pick for them. I give it a B+. Don Mekhi-Becton, freak athlete, humongous guy. Another unpolished player, but I think once you get him in some NFL coaching, and if he becomes dedicated to it, he can be really good. And at 12, 1 pick away at the time from the 49ers pick, when we heard Goodell read the name Henry Ruggs, we were over the moon. We had our pick between Judy or CD, and we really wanted CD. I really wanted CD on the Niners, but we'll get there later. Henry Ruggs, I'd give this a B+, A-. I really like him as a player, both not only for his speed, but also as his hands and route runner. People like to compare him to, like, John Ross, or haters like to compare him to John Ross because he was a bust as of now, because people drafted him just off his speed. But I think Henry Ruggs can do a lot more, and he only had 700 yards, but he only had 41 catches. Jerry Judy had 81 catches, 78 catches, something like that, and had 1,100 yards or 1,200 yards. So I think he's really good, and you can't just put his stats out there and be like he's not as good as the others, because he really is. But it's kind of crazy to me that Henry Ruggs was the first receiver off the board. And at 13, the Buccaneers, after trading with the 49ers for the 14th pick and the 117th pick, I believe, selected Tristan Wirfs, tackle out of Iowa. I give this an B+, A- as well. It's a solid pick because it's what they needed. They needed to protect Tom Brady. They didn't want to take any chances on anybody else jumping them and trading with the 49ers to select him. So they just played it safe, traded the 14th pick and the 117th pick. I think it's the 117th pick. For this pick to draft him and protect Tom Brady. So I think I'll give that a B, just because it's a solid pick and it's what they needed to do. And at 14, my San Francisco 49ers selected Javon Kinlaw, defensive tackle out of South Carolina, when we had our pick between Judy and CeeDee Lamb. It was kind of heartbreaking to hear the name, because I really wanted CeeDee. My friends and I really wanted CeeDee. But as time went on, I kind of realized Javon Kinlaw, after trading DeForest Buckner, is what we needed. I think he has a lot to prove, because I think CeeDee Lamb or Jerry Judy would have been enormous for the 49ers to get. So having him go, having Javon Kinlaw come to the Niners, he's going to have to win over the fans. Let's see if he can get through on one-on-one coverage if Bosa or D Ford or Armstead are double team. So puts him in a great spot where he'll just have one-on-ones, and let's see if he can win them. So I give that a B also, just because it's a solid pick. Nothing amazing with the other options out there. I don't know if this is the right pick, but I think Lynch and Shanahan are happy. So Broncos at 15 get wide receiver out of Alabama, Jerry Judy. I think Jerry Judy very quickly became one of the most underrated players in this class, simply because he was a top talent, top 5 talent, and people were dropping him down the board when they see Ruggs and Justin Jefferson and CeeDee Lamb. But I think he's on another level. He's not as fast as Ruggs, but he's faster than CeeDee Lamb. But he's not as great he's not as shifty, I guess, as CeeDee Lamb, but he's really shifty. But CeeDee Lamb just breaks more tackles. But Jerry Judy's the best route runner, and that's really important in the NFL, and I think that kind of gets overlooked sometimes. They were probably expecting to get Henry Ruggs, but having Judy there, I give that an A-. At 16, the Falcons kind of had our first true curveball of the draft, selecting A.J. Terrell, cornerback out of Clemson, just because he wasn't expected to go this high. The Falcons do have issues at corner after trading Desmond Trufant, so I think after seeing the first 2 corners go, they just wanted to get their corner, and I'm not sure if he's going to be their guy. So this is going to be my lowest grade so far. I give it a C+, just because I think it was a reach, and I think they just got nervous. In pick 17, the Cowboys got my guy, wide receiver out of Oklahoma, CeeDee Lamb. I love him. Maybe he's not as good as Judy or even Ruggs, but I just love him. Wholesale tickets. He's exciting. Sounds like a Dallas Cowboy already. They were just not expecting him to be there, and you could tell Jerry was ecstatic to see him there. He passed on Randy Moss, and he's not making the mistake again. Dak Prescott, although is not the best quarterback, he has a lot of targets now, and he has no excuses. So we'll see how this season goes for the Cowboys. 18, the Dolphins go Austin Jackson out of USC, offensive tackle. I like this pick. Just the classic offensive tackle pick. They picked Tua. For a second I thought CeeDee Lamb was going to maybe fall to them, but the Cowboys jumped on him. That would have been an amazing draft for them. But they get their offensive tackle to protect Tua. He's a little bit of a project, but he's okay. I'm going to give it a B-. Not the best pick. A little bit of a reach, but, you know, it's what they needed to pick. At 19, the Raiders picked Damon Arnett out of Ohio State, a cornerback. The second Ohio State corner out of this draft after Jeff Okudah. He's fast. He didn't run a fast 40, but he plays really fast. And, you know, the Raiders love the fast corners. I think he was a little underrated. I think I saw a mock draft with him going in late third round to the Niners, and I was excited about that. But I do think this is a little early, even though he's really good. His technique isn't great, but his speed is there. So I think if you can just work on the technique, he could become a really good player. I'll give this one a B- as well. At 20, the Jaguars pick K. Lavon Chason, edge rusher out of LSU. But I don't think he's just an edge rusher. I think he's primarily an edge rusher. But I do love how he can drop back into coverage, and he's super athletic. So I think this is a great draft for the Jaguars, picking up both K. Lavon Chason and C.J. Henderson. Two great picks to just beef up their defense. I'll give this one a B+, just because I truly like the pick. At 21, the Eagles pick Jalen Reagor, wide receiver out of TCU. I thought they were going to go Justin Jefferson. I think we all thought that was a lock that they were going to go Justin Jefferson. They didn't. But Jalen Reagor, it's a solid pick. He's a slot guy. Runs some slants for you. Maybe play the outside with his speed, but I just thought Justin Jefferson was going to be the pick, so I got to give it a B- just because the other guy's on the board. So at 22, the Vikings select Justin Jefferson, wide receiver out of LSU, and this is an A. Great player. I think he should have been up there in the conversation with the top 3 receivers. I think he should have been the top 4 receivers with him, Judy, CeeDee Lamb, and Henry Ruggs. He's incredible. He had Joe Burrow throwing him the ball, throwing dots to him, but he did get separation. He's a really good player, and just a really, really sound receiver. He's not especially good at one thing, but he can catch, he can run, and he can get open. So I think this is a great pick for them because their only receiver was Adam Thielen. No one else, no more Diggs, no more Laquan Treadwell, which is a bust, but he was there. So this really adds something to the wide receiver room for Kirk Cousins and Mike Zimmer. At 23, the Los Angeles Chargers select linebacker Kenneth Murray out of Oklahoma. I give this a B+. He's good. They needed a linebacker. They do give up a solid amount to the Patriots to get him, but he is a playmaker, and he'll fill that hole, and he'll be great on that defense, which is revamped. A lot of corners, Casey Hayward, Desmond King, Derwin James plays safety, and then recently signed Linval Joseph to play nose. So that defense is looking really good this year. So maybe with Tyrod Taylor and then maybe going into Justin Herbert at QB, they can make some noise this year. At 24, the Saints select center Cesar Ruiz out of Michigan. I thought Cesar Ruiz was an underrated player going into this draft, but I still thought he would go late first round. This is a little higher than I thought he would go, and I think the Saints did have some other needs that they could have went after. Like at linebacker, especially with Patrick Queen still on the board. But they decided to go with the center, and that's a good decision. Got to protect Drew Brees in what might be his last year. And for that reason, I thought they might have gone Jordan Love, but they're in win now mode. They don't want to pick up his Drew Brees' replacement. They just get the center that can play right now, and that'll really help their team this year. 25, my San Francisco 49ers trade up to select Brandon Ayuk, the wide receiver out of Arizona State. I really like him, and I also thought he was an underrated player a while ago, but he really rose up draft board, so I'm really happy for him, and I'm happy that we got him. His after the catch play is incredible. Kind of reminds me of CeeDee Lamb, but CeeDee Lamb's on another level. This makes me not as sad about losing out on CeeDee Lamb because I really do like Brandon Ayuk, and I think that I might get that jersey. It'll look amazing on the back of a Niners jersey. and this is my favorite pick of the draft. The Packers trade up to select Jordan Love, QB out of Utah State. This appears to be their replacement for Aaron Rodgers, even though he has said he wants to play until he's at least 40. Yeah, he does have a bad attitude though, and this is not helping that. He hates Matt LaFleur, and this is kind of Matt LaFleur's FU to Aaron Rodgers. They really need a receiver. I thought they were going to go receiver here. I thought they could have gone tight end and Cole Kmet, but they drafted his replacement. Aaron Rodgers must have been excited when he saw them trade up to draft a receiver, a tight end. So seeing them go QB, he must be pissed off. At 27, the Seahawks select linebacker out of Texas Tech, Jordan Brooks. I really do like this pick. I'm going to give it a B-, just because of it might have been a little bit of a reach, but you know, at this part of the first round and going into the mid rounds, you really just got to pick the guys you like and you think that can make a difference. And it doesn't really matter what I think. It doesn't matter what the mock drafts say. You got to draft the guys that you think can make a difference. And if they think he can make a difference, I respect that, because at linebacker you need guys that can fly around, make tackles, and fill the hole, and he can do most of those things. So it'll be interesting to see how he fits into that defense. And if they get Clowney back, if they don't, that's a little bit of why I thought they were going to go edge, but I think it's more promising that they're going to get Clowney back. So I think that's why they went linebacker here. I do think it's interesting, though, that they did not go with Patrick Queen. They instead went with Jordan Brooks, even though Patrick Queen is kind of known as the consensus, like, top 2 linebacker, maybe 1, maybe 2, with him and Kenneth Murray at the top, but picking Jordan Brooks over him, he can kind of fill the hole better rather than playing sideline to sideline like Patrick Queen can. But that leads us into 28th pick. The Ravens select Patrick Queen out of LSU. I give this pick an A-. Patrick Queen is an amazing player, and you see it in his highlights. He's all over the place. He's big, but he's not the biggest, and he can't really fill the hole that well. But he is big enough where he really gets some pop on guys, some running backs and some receivers, and he covers really well. Has good hands for some interceptions here and there. So I really like this pick for the Ravens, and I think the Ravens, along with the Chiefs, are the 2 teams to beat in the AFC. At 29, the Titans select Isaiah Wilson out of Georgia, offensive tackle. The second offensive tackle out of Georgia. This guy plays on the right side. And I think this is a good pick for the Titans. We kind of saw offensive tackle coming for them. They might have gone edge, but I think they're going to wait for later rounds to go edge. But this is a good pick. They needed it, and he's a big guy that can play on the right side, make a hole for Derrick Henry and protect Ryan Tannehill. So I'm going to give this pick a B. At pick 30, the Dolphins selected Noah Igbenogany, cornerback out of Auburn. This is when they traded with the Packers. A track guy, his whole family's runs track, so you know he's going to be fast, but he's also really strong and he can cover. And he can also tackle, which I didn't really expect from him when I watched him play. Just because when you hear a track guy, you expect him to run around and be good in coverage. But he can make tackles and he has good hands. So I do give this pick an A- as well. The Dolphins get a cornerback, pairing him with Byron Jones and Xavier Howard, which is the only reason this isn't an A, is because they have corners. So I thought they might have went Xavier McKinney to get a safety, because it kind of seems like Rashad Jones is out the door. But they went corner, and I like this pick. At 31, the Vikings, who traded down with the 49ers, select cornerback Jeff Gladney out of TCU. This is where I actually projected Jeff Gladney going, but to the Niners. This is a need-based pick. The Vikings need a cornerback, and they're picking Jeff Gladney. I love Jeff Gladney. I think he's a great player. Mike Zimmer loves to draft corners, so this feeds into that. And I think he'll be good for them, and he can play right now. So if the season starts on time, hopefully. But he's a play-now guy, and I think that's a great pick. And at 32, the Chiefs select who they think is the #1 running back in the class, Clyde Edwards-Helaire out of LSU. Taking running backs in the first round is not a big thing I like teams to do. After winning the Super Bowl and retaining almost all of your starters, you can kind of just fill needs, and running back was a big need of theirs. Clyde Edwards-Helaire can put his head down, get a couple yards when you need him to, but he's also great out of the backfield, and that's kind of what puts him over the top of who I still think is the best running back in the class, Jonathan Taylor. I think they're similar. Jonathan Taylor's a little bigger. Clyde Edwards-Helaire's short, 5'8", but sometimes that's not what matters. Sometimes it's just the grit, and he'll put his head down, get a couple yards. He's a all three down running back, and Andy Reid knows what he's doing. He likes the guys that can do it all, like Brian Westbrook. He's gonna have to work on his pass protection, but you can work on that. So this really does remind me of Brian Westbrook when Andy Reid coached in Philadelphia. That's why I give this pick a B, solid pick. I don't think he's the best running back in the class, but if they do, I can see that, and I think he'll fit great in their system. So there you go, guys. That's my reaction to the NFL draft. Comment down below if you want to disagree, agree with me. I'd love to have some conversations. As I said, I'm a 49er fan, so I'm happy with the draft, but I'm not. I wish we had got CD, but I think Javon Kinlaw will be great. So let me know what team you guys like down below, and thank you for watching. So I'll see you next time.